She's been active in the community since she was a teenager. Beantown. Let's not forget, never forget. And today she is the first person of color to represent District 6 on the Boston City Council, which includes Jamaica Plain, West Roxbury, Rosendale, and parts of Eccleston Square near Roxbury. She is here today, spending her time in her community festival. So let's hear it one more time for Kendra Lara. My people, my people! Mi gente, mi gente! What a beautiful, beautiful Saturday to wake up to earth. Can I hear it one more time? Let's go!
Yo, what up, baby? I'm blooming.
I could not be more excited to be here with you all today. This is, and I'm gonna share something that I think might age me a little bit.
Go ahead. We know it.
My 20th Wake Up the Earth Festival.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit more like 19, but we'll figure it out. You know, give or take. But I've been coming to the Wake Up the Earth Festival since I was just a kid growing up right on Boylston Street and Eccleston Square. For those of you that know me, you know that I grew up at Spontaneous Celebrations, and the Wake Up the Earth Festival is the day that we prepared for and looked forward to every single year. The young people at Spontaneous Celebrations made the Wake Up the Earth Festival our home. We took over the basketball courts and started the youth stage. We made sure that young people from all across the neighborhood, from both sides of the track, were coming here to celebrate what is a massive win for our movement. Now, we celebrate the Wake Up the Earth Festival to wake up the earth. We celebrate it right after May Day. But what we're really here to celebrate is a massive win, a massive, massive feat of community organizing. We are standing on what could have been a highway. We are standing on what could have been a highway that could have torn right through this community. A highway that, instead of being used now to bring our neighborhoods together, could have been used to really set our neighborhoods apart. The People Before Highways movement is a testament to the hard work and what happens when people in this neighborhood come together to fight for the most vulnerable people in their neighborhoods. And the Wake Up the Earth Festival is really a celebration of that. And as somebody who comes from movements, as someone who was brought up and who was grown and taught by our local Black leaders, the People Before Highways movement is at the foundation of my own learning. So I just want to, say thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
And I want to take a moment because Beantown Society is not here holding down the youth stage anymore. But before I introduce the next folks that are coming up, every year at the youth stage, we take a moment of silence. Beantown Society was started by a group of young people in this neighborhood who struggled. Hello? There we go. It's all that power, you know? It's all that power coming through the mic. Beantown Society was started because my friends and I were watching our friends get shot, and we were losing so many of our young people in this neighborhood to violence and gun violence. And so when we took over the youth stage, it was because we wanted to honor those young people here. Louis Troncoso was one of my friends, and he grew up here right on Boylston Street. And Louis was a kid in the neighborhood who, you know, if my mom was bringing groceries outside, he would make sure that he was helping my mom carry the groceries in. Louis, in 2007, was shot and killed at the basketball courts, which is why we took over that court and honored and called it the youth stage to really honor those young people. And so right now, I want to lift up Louis's name. I want to lift up Ivo Brown's name. I want to lift up all of the young people who were part of the youth justice movement, who are not here with us today. who looked at the Wake Up the Earth Festival and looked at Jamaica Plain and said, this is our neighborhood too. And we're not going anywhere. Now, I'm gonna stop because I'm getting emotional, but I wanna call on to you all to welcome Reclaim Boston and City Life Vida Urbana, who are gonna be blessing us with a tribute to our brand new ancestor, Mel King. Mel King was one of my mentors. He was integral to the fight, the People Before Highways fight right here in Jamaica Plain. And I was with somebody yesterday who was reminding me how Femca brought Mel King here to do the retro spectacle where she was reenacting the People Before Highways movement, and she had Mel King play himself. So I just want to call on all of our ancestors, and I want to call on Mel King, and I want to introduce y'all to Reclaim Boston and City Life, who are going to give us a tribute to our new ancestor. Thank you.
Okay. Hey everybody, my name is Paula Corgay, and first I want to say, as a former Black Panther, power to the people! Oh. And I learned that from, first of all, Mr. Chuck Turner. Okay, wow. Chuck Turner was one of the main organizers against that highway that Sister Lara was talking about. And my mother brought me and my sisters to those meetings, and we were fighting with Chuck to stop that damn highway. Ashe? Yes. So it did stop the highway, and all of our organizing stopped the highway. And then, of course, we're here today to talk about our most beautiful ancestor, Mel King. And yes, let's give a hand for Mel King. And he rests with our ancestors, our beautiful ancestors. Mel King, he influenced us in so many ways. He was a politician. He was a community organizer, and one of the things that he did that really impressed me was his breakfast. And I would go to his breakfast with my sister and all my friends, and you know, if people were having problems with their housing, oh, go see Mel King. Mel King was involved in the community, and we loved him. And we have a beautiful sister right here, Sister Cordina. Sister Cordina is a friend of mine, and yeah, I actually make clothes, and Cordina buys them from me. So she supports me a lot. She's awesome. And so yeah, Sister Cordina is going to talk about our beautiful ancestor, Mel King. Cordina.
Good afternoon, everybody. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here and talk about Mel. I've worked with Mel ever since I first came to the South End. Though we're in JP now, but ever since I first came back to Boston. When I think about Mel, I actually have two very sharp memories that come into my mind. When I first got here, and South End was a real big-time organizing community. And Mel, before I practically got out of my car, people were coming up to me and asking me. At that point, we didn't have site control. Mel was still organizing around getting the property, the parking lot, and getting the city to take eminent domain for the parking lot for Tent City, for affordable housing. And I've worked many years with Mel around affordable housing issues. But that one was a big one, and I think I want to interweave how Mel really influenced me, both as an activist, as an advocate, and as a really strong and clear community builder. Mel brought people together from all walks of life, and one of the things I feel like he taught me was that, it isn't just about the issues, it is about creating a community to carry on the work of organizing and engaging people. And and as many of you know who worked on Tent City, That was a 17-year struggle. And one of the biggest lessons is that this is not something that's going to happen, may not happen in a month and a week, but you may be working for years and cross generations and multi-generations. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons. And while you're doing that, you're not just organizing and advocating, you are developing, building relationships with people who come from very different backgrounds and play different roles in terms of the power structure and negotiating the issues that we need to get what we want, which is, quite frankly, so that everybody has housing in this city and in the nation. So, it was incredible to me, 17 years, and I'd be out there with everybody else, standing on those lines, and you're constantly thinking of strategy and tactics about how we're going to make this happen. I would also say the other memory I have is not when I just came back and I was pulled into the struggle around Tent City, which we eventually won. At that point, Mel had been working for over 10 years around community building to make Tent City happen. But the other thing that, for me, what I learned from Mel so much was about the work is just a vehicle for creating communities that are going to continue the work. You don't do this. And I think the other thing that was really important to me about Mel was that really you don't do this work by yourself, not just in terms of building a community, but you have to have collaborators, and they're usually family, friends, and other advocates. And Mel was great at creating a collaborating team that helped with that work. And somebody mentioned the Sunday dinners, and I always remember who was there, right by Mel's side, cooking, talking to folks, and making relationships happen in that space. The other thing I would say about Mel, the other memory I have is not just when I came here, and I was pulled into the Tent City struggle, eventually became a board member, and one of the things, which was quite a long struggle, quite frankly, in terms of, besides just getting the site control, getting the space, we also had to do a lot of work around getting the money and the resources to make it happen. But the other memory I have actually was not only when I first came here, but the other memory I have is the actual day when at Mel's funeral, and I think the thing that was so really moving for me was, quite frankly, I relived my whole organizing, advocacy, and community building life. Everybody that I had ever worked with was in that room. And from different backgrounds, different relationships to the power leadership in this city. But it was incredible to me to be there. I was so moved by looking over that audience and seeing Mel touch the lives of the extent, the breadth and extent of the people's lives that he touched. And not only in terms of what I saw in that room, but afterwards. And not only in terms of, like I said, advocating, but also in terms of him really showing people that this work is really about creating what I would say the relationships that will really create a really strong community that is committed to long-term struggle. And that is critical, absolutely critical. Anybody who does this work knows it's lifetime work, and I know that's where I'm at in doing this work. It's that level of deep commitment, and he exemplified it in every sense of what that word means. I also want to say, for me, about Mel, is when housing was not only his only issue. He touched about, I think, every issue you can think about when it comes to fighting systemic oppression in this city, which was about economic development, community development, building the institutions, educational institutions, from community skills, the community school movement. He was very active in that. And in terms of also Roxbury Community College, the colleges that for people who wanted higher education. And I think not only at an institutional level was Mel active in policy making, in terms of going and talking to the mayor and the city council and the mayor's cabinet, but really actually giving the proposals, working on the proposals that are going to make it happen. Mel was an incredible person. I mean, a special person in terms of all the lives he touched. And some of it I didn't even know. I knew a lot of course, the institutional stuff, the organizational, but what I didn't know is the personal stuff. I went outside afterwards and people told me Mel happened to get me into college. I would never have gone to college if it hadn't been for Mel. I would never have finished graduate school or gone on to get my master's or PhD if it wasn't for Mel. And those stories were continuous, practically everybody I talked to. So this was not just at a organizing and policy level, this was at a personal level. Mel's personal interest and relationships with people. I mean, I can't say enough. I don't want to overtalk. I have so much, having worked with Mel in so many different issues, housing and economic development. Like I said, he was an amazing and special man, and I'm only too glad, and I want to pass it over and not overtalk, okay? All righty. And yay to everybody here who's worked on these issues.
Okay, now I wanna thank you, Sister Kadena. Talk to us. Would you tell everybody who you are and what you do, and all the great things you've done in the community, young man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I've been a member of City Life for like over 5 years now, probably 6-7 years now, a minute. And as we say in City Life, once you become a member, it's like a life commitment. I'm a City Lifer, as I like to call myself. But yes, I knew Mel as a great inspiration and role model, but I actually didn't always see him that way, and that's because I grew up in the South End, Lower Roxbury area, and I used to always just see him around. Like, he was at the Carter playground where my dad played tennis with him, and he was always at the tech center as I was just growing up as a kid. So I was just seeing him around. I was like, oh, that dude's an OG. But it wasn't later until I started organizing with a crew of friends of mine. We started organizing around penal abolition, and we wanted to learn more about just Boston organizing. So we decided to read his book, The Chain of Change. And as I was reading that book, I was like, wait, this is the same dude that is out. And I started connecting all the dots, and I was like, wow, this guy is a great person. And coincidentally, I was interviewing with a newspaper about the Stop and Frisk campaign that we were working on as a group. And they took a picture of me after they did the article, and I just so happened to be holding the book in my hand. And Mel saw that when the paper came out the next few days. He saw that and saw me on the cover and read the article. And the article was talking about what a label of a gang member can do to a young person's life. And I talked about my experience growing up and being labeled a gang member, and he somehow got my phone number. The next day I got a random phone call, and it was Mel, and he was like, I saw you in the paper, I want to talk, I want to get together. But sorry, it makes me a little emotional. He let me know that they were wrong about me. He let me know that
Got it.
that I was not what they were saying I was, and I was more than that, and that he wanted to talk. He wanted to talk about organizing. So me and my group of friends, we met with him during one of his many Sunday brunches, like a lot of us know about. and we talked, we strategized. We spent a few Sundays with him, and he was so moved by our organizing work that he wanted us to write a letter for his reprint of The Chain of Change. And we have a letter in his 2016 version called The Future Links in the Chain of Change. So if you guys ever pick up the new copy, you guys can read that. And I'm just so grateful for having him as an inspiration in my life and being able to share those moments that we shared.
Okay, my darlings. Last but not least is a beautiful, riveting story about Mel King, and he impacted all of us. He's just amazing, an amazing man. Now I'd like to introduce my comrade, beautiful sister, artist, been here, went home, came back, started organizing just like that. She's just amazing to work with. She inspires all of us at City Life. By the way, I'm the Roxbury organizer of City Life. This woman and I, we do things together with tenants. She's just an amazing woman, and she's an artist. And that banner right there, that's her. Okay, she ain't no joke. She's awesome. She came here. Oh, that's and Donna, yes. And yep. That's our banner. Come on up here. Okay, so Safiro came here to Boston. Her and I were part of Page Academy, and she came back, and she just killed it. She's killing it. No, she's killing it. She didn't kill it. It's not past tense. She's coming here. She is creating all types of art. She's working with our parents. She's working with our people. She is an amazing woman, and I love her to death, honestly. And the last thing that we're gonna do for our wonderful Mel is read one of his amazing poems. Okay, go ahead, sister. I'm sorry, she's a founder of Spontaneous Celebration. One of the founders. Yes. Which is right here in Jamaica Plain down the street. Okay? And yeah, she's awesome.
Thank you, everybody. This is the way that it works. Yeah, thank you.
Femke Rosenbaum that is here. Femke brought all this inspiration from her own town, Holland, and this is what is today. We embrace those traditions. We do every year for 45 years, we do this beautiful festival called Wake Up the Earth Festival, and then the Lantern Parade that is coming around the Jamaica Pond every October. So, and many other things, because we also have a beautiful old club house where we do our community dinners on Friday, and we invite people from the community to come and to be part of this beautiful neighborhood. So we are very proud that this is 45 years that we've been producing this wonderful festival. And thank you to all of you. Thank you. I'm going to read a poem by Mel King. Because, by the way, Mel King not only was an amazing leader, but also he was a poet. So, struggle. It is struggle developing solidarity. It is struggle being positive. It is struggle making common unity. It is struggle living. It is struggle because it's slow. But if we struggle at developing solidarity, being positive, shaping reality, making common unity, we will all grow. Because to struggle is to work for change. And change is the focus of education. And education is the basic of knowledge. And knowledge is the basic of growth. And growth is the basic for being positive. And being positive is the basis for building solidarity. Building solidarity is the way to shape reality. And shaping reality is living. And living is loving. So struggle. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And Mel King is with us. He will always be with us because in our tradition in Latin America, the people that die is because we don't remember them. We will always remember Mel King.